I'm not a fan. I'll tell you that right now. I absolutely don't like it at all. Uh,
Yeah.
all right, y'all. So we're here. Appreciate everybody chiming in. So, what are we talking about today? Today, we're going to talk about Traco's process on how he leverages LinkedIn to not only book meetings, but also what he does to leverage his LinkedIn conversations to close deals as well. So, real quick, as we do that, I'm going to throw up a poll real quick. I want to see who's in the room. So let us know who's in the room, who we talking to, right? The reason that this is important is because it allows us to contextualize the conversation that we're about to have here today. So please, if everyone, you could fill that out. It takes literally 2 seconds to do. So we just want to know who's in the room and who are we talking to so we can make sure that the information is directed to you, right? That's the whole goal at the end of the day. So as this poll is going through, appreciate everybody answering it. We got a solid, good amount of AEs in the room. We got some founders. We got a healthy mix in here today. So I'm really excited about that. And as we get into this, y'all, let's go into the actual introductions of like who you're speaking to today and what we're doing. Like I said, we're going to talk about Traco's process on how he's leveraging outbound, how he's booking meeting, and also closing deals. So that's where we're going to start. Traco, introduce yourself, talk to us. I'll round us out with the intros, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Traco. Yeah, that is my full name, and I'm the only one you'll ever find on LinkedIn if you search Traco. So pretty easy to find. It's a great conversation starter, but also can derail a conversation. I grew up in a country town in Colorado, and we boarded semi-pro professional racehorses when I was growing up. So my name comes from an old Western cowboy book because I know at least 25 people are going to send me a private DM asking where my name came from. So I thought I would just address that right off the front end.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm the VP of growth at Corporate Traditions. I've been in different facets of sales from direct to consumer, full cycle sales reps, from source to close for the last 12 years. And really just enjoy every part of the entire process and then building scalable programs that other people can simply copy and duplicate, add their own flair and personality to, and immediately start seeing results. And that's what attracted me to Morgan about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Quick shout out. I sent Morgan probably 4 or 5 connection requests. He never accepted them. Took me a long time to catch his attention, but finally commented on one of his posts when he asked if or he made a post about video DMs and if they work. And at that time, I was building out a sales program for a company and had booked about 12 meetings just through video DMs as a lever that I was pulling to get engagement from prospects. So I commented on that, and then I finally got Morgan to accept my connection request, and we've been going back and forth ever since. So I count myself lucky that I'm here, and just super grateful to be associated with Morgan. Like I said, I live in Utah. I've got 3 kids. My oldest is 7, 4, and 2, and been married to my beautiful wife for just about 11 years next month. So it's been a wild ride,
There we
and I
go.
love playing basketball. That's my jam. So
I love it, man. Well, I'm happy that you're here. You stayed persistent, right? So
yeah,
here we are, here we are. So I'm excited for people to learn from you today. And again, I think that everyone will gain benefit from this. As people do come in, let us know again where you're tuning in from. And then also as well, feel free to ask questions as we're about to get into it. I'm going to do the quick intro. So I'm Morgan. If you have no idea who I am, I've been in the outbound sales development space for 10 years. A lot of things that I've done have been through LinkedIn and things of that nature and creating content. But what my day to day is and how all this works and for me to do the things I do is I run a business called Amp Social. Amp Social's main focus is to how to make sales more human in the AI world. And the main offer and the main thing that we have is something called Sales Team 6. It's a 45-day program where we work with SDR, BDR, AE teams on how to outbound video prospecting, which we're going to talk about today, LinkedIn outbound, cold calling, in-person relationships. So if you have a team and you're like, hey, we're trying to upskill, that's what I come in and do in that 45-day program. So a lot of the components we're going to talk about today is those frameworks. But again, the spotlight is Draco. The last thing I will say, and all y'all are going to ask me this, I know this is going to happen. So this is why I have this slide. you will get a recording of this today. So if you're like, hey, Morgan, I don't know if I'm going to get a recording, you will get a recording. You'll have it. You can watch it. You can check it out anytime. All right. So you got it. Right. So go check that out and things of that nature. But what we're going to talk about today, right, is Traco, your process. So tell me what were you doing before, right? You took the frameworks and the tactics that I share. Where were you at? And then what are you now doing? And then we're going to go to some live examples for you. So go ahead and share and talk to us.
Yeah, I think traditionally what I was doing prior to learning a little bit about the importance of leveraging my LinkedIn for to help build pipeline or even to engage current sales cycles that were kind of going dormant. I was literally just doing the normal stuff, right? Like trying to send 25, 30 emails that were getting stuck in spam or never being delivered, or were being delivered and then just being ignored. I was making phone calls. If anybody does that, the average connection rate. I mean, it's like 2 to 5%. So you're making a lot of calls for a little bit of action, a little bit of momentum, and it just got frustrating. What really motivated me and turned me to leaning towards leveraging my LinkedIn to generate pipeline and also build credibility in the space, in the industries that I was selling. With the company I was with when I started, I was with an organization that was doing, they were piloting and testing out a new vertical that they were going after. And so, because it was new, they didn't have a ton of funding. Everybody here can probably try to resonate with that. You got to get scrappy with different ways to build pipeline. And the traditional methods of email and phone call were just not delivering the results that I needed. And so I was just looking for anything and came across a couple of posts about video DMs. And that's what I was like, hey, you know what? In my career, sales is something that you can't control which prospect is going to be the prospect that says yes, but you can control how many people you try to get into the top of your funnel. And then you work with them. And as you help them and you build value, naturally the cream rises to the top and you're going to close some of those. So, in my effort to try to build more pipeline and get more people interested, I started leveraging LinkedIn and DMs. And the sweet thing about it was most people don't know that how to block somebody on LinkedIn yet. And so you can ping somebody and notify them to where they see your name 5 or 6 times. And then when you send them an email, they're like, wait, I know this guy. Why do I know this guy? And so naturally, psychologically, they already know who you are. So they feel an obligation to respond. It's no longer a cold email, it's no longer a cold call because you've built credibility and your name resonates with them. They don't necessarily know where or why, but they know they've seen you as being a relevant player in the space. And that's kind of what I've learned is building, it's not a be all end all, but it's an opportunity to add into what you're already currently doing for outbound. And it just delivers way better results.
Love it. And so let's go into one of those examples, Traco, one of the messages or videos you sent, and let's dig into it so the audience can see.
Yeah, let me pull one up. I've got one right here. Um, I've got to, let me pull up so it's just this one. Um, this was with a different company I was working with. I was building out a pipeline for a company that does procurement software. So we were selling to CIOs, CTOs, procurement leaders, all of that type of stuff. Um, and in this, actually, you know what? Let's just go here. Okay, I'll just share, and then I'll be everybody's going to be reading my messages. I'm just going to share my LinkedIn, so it's just real. Okay. So this is a contact early last year. I sent a video DM. It went dark. What's also crazy is I had a mutual connection actually intro me to her. Okay. So to even try to help move the needle a little bit, this was a perfect situation for who we were looking for. I'm not sure why it's not pulling up the other message, but um, what would happen is I sent this. I sent a follow up, didn't get any momentum. Sent another follow up, didn't get any momentum. Let it sit for a little bit, couple of months, and then I just said this. I think personally, Morgan, like one of the biggest secrets of LinkedIn are sending these like congratulations on hitting milestones in their work anniversaries,
Yep.
because this is what has actually led to. And I've got another example. of I actually just closed a deal with a company I've been trying to work on since 2022, and I got them engaged in the conversation by literally sending their one of their executives congratulations on 10 years, and he's like, "Hey, we've been meaning to meet with you. You guys have been we've been talking about you. We just know, but I've called their different leaders, different managers, and different sectors of the business to try to get meetings, and was
Yep.
never able to get one, but then finally locked it down. So
Yeah,
it
I'm
was
gonna
cool.
actually stop there as you go through that. Like for everybody here, chat, are y'all doing that today? Are y'all using the congrats? Yes, no, just let us know in the chat if you are. I just want to see if people are even leveraging this at all. Okay, cool. So we got Thomas is locked in. We got a 50-50. Yes, not as much. Um, locked in. Cool. Traco, some people are asking for you to zoom in if you can.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but you also can zoom in on your sides too. You can also zoom in too. But
Let me try to. I'll just zoom in my whole browser too to help.
yeah, yeah. But okay, so people are tapping into this. So talk through this, and then let's also play the video too, so people can at least see what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, let's keep
Yep.
going.
Okay. Yeah. Let me click on the video. Let's see if it'll load. Can everybody hear? Did you hear that, Morgan, or no?
Play it one more time. No, we can't hear it.
Okay. Let me with
Then
sharing.
as
It's
he
got
does this,
to.
yeah, this is regular LinkedIn. So you obviously this is right here. He's connected to these people. So everything we're talking about is their first degree connected to the person, and we're sending a message. So that's what's going on here. Just so everybody has context on what's happening and what's occurring. So again, yeah, the goal here is that we can send people videos or these messages like this. So then it's like, all right, cool. Like here's what we need to do. So that's what's going on there.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to bring up is like you can only send DMs to people that are your first connections, right? Um, Let me try to. I'm going to try to refresh this. See if we can pull it up.
Charles, you can't send it in sales
Oh, here
nav.
it
What
is.
you could do is if you use like a video software, you can add the link in the connection request. To answer all of the question here is psychologically, what we've seen is people accept blank requests more than personalized requests. Now, you can A/B test that if you want. It's just what I've seen, but that's at least what we see when we work with clients and work with BDR and AE teams. Like that gets the highest acceptance rates.
Yeah, I would concur with that. Like I don't accept anybody's connection request unless like people hear, oh, why won't let me scroll down? Let me delete that out. I don't control or I don't accept connection requests very rarely unless they say like, hey, saw you on a webinar or saw this or that. And then I'll accept those. But 9 times out of 10, send them. And most of the time, people who know people, they don't have to justify why they're reaching out or trying to connect with them. And so you need to act as if you're already a major player in the game and they should know who you are. Otherwise, they're crazy, right? So, okay, I think I've got my sound shared. And let me, and yes, to answer that question, I just record natively on my cell phone. Um, One thing that I've noticed that pulls a lot of results from different DMs that I've done is I've had way more replies when I wear normal clothes like a t-shirt and even a hat. I've got way more replies going that way than some of them I've done with button ups, I've done with polos, I've done super professional, I've put them on a phone stand. But the ones that are natural that I just hold in my hand, that I'm moving and you can see that it's real, those have always converted at a higher clip than a lot of the other ones. So hopefully that makes sense. And then I just drop them in here. So let's see if this will play. Hey, good morning, Stephanie. Appreciate the connection. I've heard a lot of great things about you from Cindy and the team that were at DPW earlier this year. You've probably guessed it from a couple of the emails or possibly the intro that Cindy did, but it's my job just to let you know that Veruzi exists and kind of to help make sure that Veruzi's top of mind for you to see if we can help drive any business initiatives that you have. We chat with a lot of procurement leaders that are looking for and always constantly looking at different solutions that are on the market to make sure that they have the best tech stack with the best pricing structure to make sure that they're driving more compliant spending, limiting that maverick spend, all of that type of stuff, and automating a lot of things that can be automated to increase efficiency.
Um, would love to just sync up with you, learn a little bit more, and see if you'd be open to just a quick connect to discuss a little bit about Veruzi. Let me know what your thoughts are, but appreciate the connection.
Yeah, I
Hey,
think
good
the
morning.
yeah,
Pause.
and I think the main thing is, and then we can go back to the string. So everybody watching this, like, notice the key things that Traco does in the chat. Y'all can also comment as well. And thank you, Traco, for showing your video because you're putting yourself out here. So we want to show you some love for that. Hope everyone else shows you some love too. But I think the thing is like you keep it very natural, as if you're having a normal conversation. I think that's the whole thing that I want you all to see is that it can be as natural as this. You're having a conversation with someone, you're chopping it up, and here you go, right? It doesn't need to be anything over engineered or crazy as maybe a lot of people think. And so that's the absolute key. So for all y'all watching that, hope you got something out of that. Obviously in the chat, you can let us know as well what your take is, but that's the main focus that we're doing there. And so yeah, I just wanted to comment on the video and how you went about it, but obviously you can continue down how this led to outcomes. But again, I wanted to point that out.
Yeah, and I just wanted to highlight too, Morgan, not every video DM you're going to get is going to lead to a positive outcome. This one, I had to send it and then I followed up. Another thing that I like to do is just when I send a follow up message, I've actually tweaked it since then. You can see this was back in October, but I just like how this progression actually happened as I was communicating with this prospect. But sent it, no reply, sent it, no reply. And then 2 months later, congrats on 4 years. She says, "Thank you. You're welcome." Wanted to see if she was going to continue it up. And then in January, send another one. And this is where it's really funny, is because she actually left the company she was with after 4 years. And this is my favorite part right here that I wanted to show. Like, your prospects still know who they are. There's probably a reason why they're not engaging with you if they're willing to reply to some sort of a message. You just have to recognize that timing and try to stay top of mind with them. And what my favorite part is, my birthday's in February. She actually reached out and wished me a happy birthday, even though she was a couple of days late. Like, so that's the sweet part about this, is I know it's not a matter of if they close this client, but it's only a matter of time until it is closed, because we're top of mind. She knows who we are. She's thinking about us. She sees the content for the company that I was working for with Veruzi, that it's going to actually close sometime down the road. So I've typically found too, I know I need to do a better job. I'm not trying to profess that I'm a like every single person I talk to turns into a converted closed one, but just staying top of mind and engaging with this stuff and being a human is all it takes. You don't need to check all these boxes and have a specific cadence of like every 12 hours I ping this prospect. Just be real and be human and treat your prospects like a human, and they are going to convert and deliver value to them. Sending them posts, sending things that might resonate um, with them is going to help move the needle with that. Morgan, anything you want to discuss based on this, or what critiques would you tell me to do better at on this?
I think this is about being pleasantly persistent. I think that this will just be one of those, I guess, kind of like long-term plays, right? But I think this also,
Yeah.
even though this isn't directly leading into something, I think it's important for everybody to see that like not every single time the video is going to land, which is important. Stay on top of people, stay in the conversation as long as it's relevant. I would say the main thing is, as she mentioned, happy belated birthday. That could have been an opportunity to maybe mention because she's in the new role. If she's been in the role for like maybe 4 months, maybe you could give her like something that could be helpful. I find that if I ask normally when I don't know about y'all, but if I ask people how the new role is going, like most people don't ever like really reply to me because it's like kind of a
Yeah.
loaded question. So people get overwhelmed and they don't reply. And so more so what I do is I'll be like, hey, I see you've been in this role for 4 months. Here's like two things or one thing that'd be helpful for you. Yeah, but it's a loaded question, right? So
It is.
I just say, hey, like I know you've been in this role for X amount of time. Here's something that's helpful. I'm not trying to give them, yeah, I'm not trying to give them anything crazy. I'm giving them something that can be helpful for contextually for their role and what they do.
And
So
something that you could do, correct me if I'm wrong, right, Morgan, is like, what would you recommend that you would send somebody that might be helpful in their role? Because one of the cool things that you always talk about in a lot of the YouTube videos you've done with the filters and sales nav of running like new jobs within like 3 to 6 months,
yeah,
because in the first couple of months they don't even know where the bathroom is. I always love that joke. But As they're diving
Yeah.
in, like what would you recommend that we could share to help add value to somebody that's new in a position?
Yeah, I would say the main thing. By the way, this muffin's really good. Surprisingly, I
I
got.
can tell. I can
Yeah,
tell.
I went to a new place to get a muffin. This muffin's actually pretty lit. Anyway, so the way that I think about it is, what are ideas that I can give them because they're new in their role. So it might be like, hey, we just worked with this product marketing manager, and here's something that we've seen to be really helpful for them and be successful. We just worked with this, just thinking through like, hey, we just worked through this. We worked with this VP of marketing. Here are three strategies that people have run that are our clients that's helpful. So that's just the thing you're doing. You just want to give people ideas because, again, you all can chime in on this. I've just found that people are just looking for better ideas at the end of the day and to be better. So that's the way that I really look at it as well.
Right.
Stephen, I'm gonna follow up on. I have a question to your question as well. Um, what exactly do you mean by not being a stalker? Like, where is that coming from? Like, where is that emotion coming from and feel like a stalker? Like, what does that mean? So I just want to know what that means so I can answer the question appropriately. But anyways, you were gonna say something, Draco?
I was going to say too, as you were discussing and as you were sharing those things, a big thing I think as well is you could send like different like our the marketing teams will a lot of times create case studies or things of
Yeah.
how different leaders and different management have been able to drive X results. So those might be cool links that you could share and send with them, um, to help kind of keep the needle moving as they're evaluating and looking. Just like what Brody said, they're tasked to do internal audits on tools and processes. So staying top of mind on that. And I definitely recognize and know that I need to do a way better job with that as things are going through. So that's a great tool. I'm grateful for that. I learned a lot right there.
Okay, Trio, let's
That's
let's
been
go
cool.
to let's go to someone who got a meeting. Let's get a breakdown on it. And then when you do that as well, someone asked about your breakdown on your video, so we'll pull that up as well.
Okay. Yeah, happy to. Okay, let's see. I don't know why this
As Trinko
didn't.
pulls this up, Stephen, I would tell you that oversitting too many messages without value to the prospect is up to the how you send those messages. So at the end of the day, the main thing you want to focus on is looking at the observations of things that are happening and connecting the dots. It's the main thing that in my program that I coach people on. It's, are they making certain hires? Or do they have product updates? Are they hiring people? Like, you just connect the dots and just see what's going on. We don't know if they have a solution or not yet. So we're just making assumptions. So either they're going to be, yeah, I want to meet with you because I have this problem, or they're going to be like, I don't want to meet with you because I'm happy. We don't know. We can only make assumptions and we can only invite them to the conversation. So that's what I focus on. So if they're hiring a good amount of people and I know if someone's hiring these people and I can connect the dots, it means they're about to do a project, I reach out. So you just have to focus on, am I leading with an observation of value? If you're not and you wouldn't respond to it, I wouldn't send it. That's my take on it. But let's see what you got.
I agree with that. I think also too, it's not that video DMs are the only way to get in front of this prospect, right? It's kind of like what Morgan, what you and I were talking about it before. It's leveraging, engaging with the content that they do share, engaging with content that the organization does share,
Yep.
liking, commenting, following, recommending them or like endorsing them for different skill sets. That helps keep you top of mind. Now, you don't do all of that within a 24-hour period. You're spacing out all of these activities just like you would. You don't send 10 emails in a 20 touch sequence all in one day. You space them out over time so you can build relevancy and they can associate you with a possible solution that they need based on those observations that Morgan says. Those are money. Just to throw in my 2 cents based on my experience of doing this.
Awesome. So
Um,
we got another
okay.
video here. Let's get it.
Okay, this is one that I just sent. So I was in New York City, and what I did was I've seen a lot of like anytime I go and travel somewhere, I like to change the background so that way it kind of piques their interest. So if I'm in the mountains, we live right next to the mountains here in Utah. So when I'm there, I don't necessarily need to have service, but I have a list in my phone of 5 to 6 prospects that I think might resonate with something like that. And I'll just record videos for them while we're up there and I may not have service. And then when I get home, I'll just upload them and send them out. So this is the video that I sent out. I sent this to a bunch of different prospects and people that I was trying to engage with while I was in New York City. Um, what I've usually seen too is even though I send the message, I still have to follow up. But what I really love is just this idea right here. I love asking for thoughts, hope it felt different, and then it will engage them to be like, what's going on? And then I can usually lead to this one led to a meeting that happened later that'll happen later next week, actually
So
later today. Sorry.
so this is really important. Actually, let's play the video, Trico, and then I want to
Okay.
point out something for everybody real quick.
Okay.
Hey, how's it going? I appreciate the connection. I hope this intro feels a little bit different than your typical text message variations, but hope everything's going well. Want to introduce myself. I'm one of those crazy connections that actually likes to meet the people he connects with. So I work with leaders all over the country when they're looking to motivate, retain, and recognize employees through employee recognition, but mainly through the actual action of gifting and showing appreciation. So if that sounds a little bit something like your world, something that you're interested in, we got no contracts, no fees, no minimum orders, nothing like that. Anyway, appreciate the connection. Look forward to staying in touch.
Okay, so I want everybody to chat. Let's get together. Okay. So
Critique me.
based on this video, let's get some commentary on Traco. And even if you got some things you want to constructively criticize, that's fine. But what are the things he did well here? I just want to see if people can get the 3 things he did well here that I'm about to point out. Let's see if y'all clocked in and locked in on what you saw here. So let's just see in the chat what's going on. So shout out to Brody, the length. I agree. What you got, 42? Yeah, I mean, you want to be between 35 to 45 seconds, so you're good there. Let's
Oh,
just
I struggle with the length. I'm not gonna lie. That is
I mean, this is a good one. This is 42, so this is actually pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. All right, what else? We got more people in here. You need commentary on this because, like, the thing is, in order to become good at something, you want to be able to point out the things that were good so then you can do it yourself. So that's why we're gonna have everybody chime in on what they saw was good. And then I'll tell you the 3 things that you should focus on because there's 3 key things here. If you do them, you would get more responses on video. Um, let's see. Natural sounds, connecting in person. Got the intro, actual for meeting, smiling, real, few points. Cool. So we got some good stuff here. And we'll keep it going. The main thing is, all right, the 3 things. Number one is that, and this takes time. This takes time, but he treated it as if he was having like a conversation. Like as if he was talking to that person in the street. And that's what I want you all, if you're, I know we got multiple people on the call, right? We got AEs, we got SDRs, we got sales leaders, we got founders in here. I don't want you to think about how can I script this to sound like no. He just treated it like he was having a normal conversation. So that's like the mindset and the perspective shift that I want you all to have. So you just treat this like a natural conversation, right? And so right here, what Joff said, I believe I'm saying your name right, Joff. It was outdoors. Now, I'm not saying that y'all need to go run in the street. Like that's all I'm saying. But because it's outdoors, he said something interesting. Hope it felt different, right? Hope it felt different. That was the key, right? And the third thing is that at the end, natural close, friendly close. So those are the 3 things that really stood out here that led to success. Now, those are the main things that I would take away from this video that you all can start incorporating and start using. So, Trico, you can go back out, you can kind of go through this
Yeah.
response that you got. And I think this is very important for people to see that when you send videos, you will get more thoughtful responses. But as we see, not everyone's going to reply to the video. But it shows a level of intention and it shows thoughtfulness as well. Um, so that's the case too. Brody's
Ooh,
asking,
Brody,
yeah, yeah,
Brody
go ahead.
nailed it. Yeah, I was gonna say yes. This one was just a one that I sent to a handful of leaders that I knew were looking at these different situations, and so I just was testing it. So Brody, good call out, man. You're the king. You're the king on this. I did use this to send to a couple of people at the same time and was able to get conversations. So good observation there.
Cool. Anything else that you want to talk about with Katie here that you want to break down even more? Obviously, y'all, if you have questions, throw them in the chat, throw them in the Q&A. We're here to answer them too.
I think it's really important too. One thing that I'd like to bring up is I've realized, I don't know, Morgan, you might know the statistics on this. I'm kind of just shooting from the hip here, but in my opinion, I believe like 85% of LinkedIn users are actually on their mobile device for LinkedIn, right? And
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows this, but for example, somebody just sent me a message right here that you can see. But if I go on my phone, I'll share my screen here. You can see that I have the message notification. But if I ever tap in to see what that notification is and see who sent me a message, and then I go back, that notification is no longer there in the upper corner of my mobile device. And so what happens is even though it's still marked as unread, there's no notification. And so a lot of the times all of these messages they just get lost in all of the nonsense from all the other sellers trying to send video DMs or not video DMs, sorry, but just sending messages. And so what I've realized that really moves the needle is I don't mention anything specific because look at we only have so much real estate that we can use for people to be able to see who we are, and I want to pique their interest to a point that they have to open up my message again and either reply or let me know what's going on. And so I use the same type of a thing, and shout out to you, Morgan. I'm pretty confident that I got this from you with this particular message right here because it literally uses just that small little part you have like a subject line to not lose. No one wants to read, "Hey, Kate, hope you are having a great day. Please look at my message." Like, no one gives a crap about that. Just jump
AI
into it just
squad.
like you would. Exactly. Like, don't jump into that stuff. Okay. I really like this stuff right here. She expounds way more than I thought she was going to expound, right? And I really highlighted this part that I've actually never thought about was that she received it during work hours. So that might be a different play that I want to start trying to play around with is sending these at different times, um, earlier in the morning or later in the evenings for my prospects to see if I can get a reply rate quicker. And then right here, just engaging with them, just going forward, going forward, going forward. Out of curiosity, would you be open? Yeah, definitely. Proven that because I always say like I do the videos, so you don't know I'm not just an AI automation that you have plugged into some tool. And I think people respond to that stuff just like what Kate did.
I think
Um,
it's also super interesting because if you also go into it as well, she mentioned that she like didn't like the video, but she still is responding with very thoughtful messages. That's why this is interesting.
yes,
Like she was like,
yeah,
I don't really know if I like this, but she is engaging with you. So that is also very interesting.
yeah,
This goes to a point. I think y'all seen these posts where people are like, I don't respond to videos. I think it's super creepy. I get it, but also at the same time, I don't know about y'all. I think everyone's getting sick of the AI bot messages. So even though maybe people may not like the video, I think they also low key appreciate it. But that's my take. Y'all can let me know in the chat if you think differently. If you don't like them, that's you can have that dialogue. But Trick, I'll let you continue.
yeah. If I can highlight one thing too, I spent 10 years. I don't know if anybody here chime in on the chat if you've ever knocked doors. I did almost 10 years knocking doors to sell pest control. So I would knock on people's doors at dinner time, bedtime, early in the mornings, late at night. It's dark, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And those are some of the most hostile environments I've ever been in. I've had the cops called. I've had guns pulled on me. I've been chased out of neighborhoods. I've had dogs sicked on me. And that's kind of how I cut my teeth in sales. And there's a lot of psychology behind how we present ourselves right in a hostile environment. And in my opinion, I agree with what Morgan is saying. It is kind of cringy and it's weird to send a video DM, just like Kate. I do not blame Kate for not feel like for feeling a little weirded and awkwarded out because I sent her a video DM. I don't blame her. I would feel the exact same way. But I do believe that one of the things that moves the needle the most is all about the thumbnail. And I think, Brody, you highlighted this before. Psychologically, if you come in peace, if cops are saying, hey, like, I don't want you to be in trouble, they always say, put your hands up, right? Show your palms. That means you're not hiding anything. And
Mhm.
so, psychologically, when starting a message, I always start my message just like this with an open palm and I smile, but I make sure that I'm holding the camera in a way that you can see my smile and it's not blocked by the play button. And by doing that, psychologically, you come across as a friend and as a colleague and somebody that is on the same side of the table with them versus just a normal sales rep trying to pitch at them because you're on their same team, showing you come in peace. You're there to be there for them. And naturally, that moves the needle. I've done a lot, and I've actually had a lot of people send me their video DMs, and they look like a straight gargoyle in their thumbnail. And I'm like, I would never click on that. I would never
That
click
ain't
on that
it.
thing.
That ain't
Right?
it.
So it's like I told them, I was like, yo, you gotta smile. Cause it's like they click the button, they're like this, click the button and they move their hand. I am like, that is terrible, right? So
That's
don't be
so
doing none of that
true.
nonsense. Don't be doing
That's
none of
so
that
true.
nonsense. And I think really most, I would say, for the stats that I sent Morgan, which is kind of some antiquated stats, I've got better stats now for how many messages I've sent, meetings booked, and replies. But out of those 288 video DMs I sent and the 57 replies, I would say 50 out of those 57 replies came from sending multiple messages time after time after time to prospects to try to get them. The video isn't what necessarily converts, but it's being pleasantly persistent, just like what Morgan said, with different variations to come top of mind with them. Okay. Um, I don't remember what you were saying, but it's definitely been great. My favorite right here, Morgan. One thing I've realized too that you've highlighted in the past was like these LinkedIn inboxes. People are not fans of having business conversations on LinkedIn because it's like this weird pseudo environment of personal social media, but also related to business.
Yep.
And so when we start moving into business context or booking meetings, we need to move that to the business format, which is email, as quickly as possible, which I
Yeah.
think moves us on top of the inbox because people are actively always working in their inbox in business. And so if we can move into that email address, that's going to be the best the best possible thing that we can do. And I think actually, I don't know if anybody uses shout out to Text Blaze. I don't know if anybody knows what Text Blaze is, but you can create keyboard shortcuts. And I think it's four. Nope, that one's not it. It's three. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm not logged in, so it actually won't work. Oh yeah, it's not turned on. Let me just turn this thing back on real quick. But now what I should be able to do is this one right here. This is a message that I usually will send after two or three messages. I'll just put their name. If this inbox is too crowded, shoot me your email and we can book a time there. This has also converted me meetings by moving it to their email inbox and getting their approved email. And then I can ping them and say, hey, here it is. Just look for an email from me at this day and time. So I don't know, Morgan, do you use Blaze at all? Text Blaze?
That's ironic. Yeah, I do use TextBlaze actually. So shout out to
Dude,
TextBlaze. I used to use something called Atex, but then I like TextBlaze. It's a little bit more categorized. But yes, I'm a huge fan of that.
yes.
Huge fan.
Yeah,
Huge fan.
I like it. I'll usually go through, star all my messages, and then send it. So after I send this message, my second message is usually this one that I'll
Yep.
do, and it has a built-in days and times to request a meeting. And then my fourth one is that last one. And I typically only will send 3 to 4 text follow-ups within about a month, 10 to 15 days usually. And then I'll kind of just let it sit for a while and then try to engage through their content or birthdays, work anniversaries. I mean, those are two great times to stay top of mind for all of your prospects all year because they're guaranteed to have a birthday and a work anniversary pop up at least twice a or once a year for each of them. So you have two reasons to reach out to them no matter what. That's a side
Absolutely.
tangent, but Morgan, keep going. Sorry to derail that.
You're absolutely good. I want to take a minute here because time is flying. So first of
Yeah, I
all,
know.
uh, we gotta do the air horns. We're here. This is like the halftime, so we want to check in with everybody. Uh, Charles, we will answer that framework for you. That's a great question. But the more important question is, y'all are hanging out here on a Friday morning, or some of you it's evening time, depending on where you're at. How have you found this so far? Has it been impactful? Has it been helpful for you? I want to hear from everybody across the board. Also, as well, after this is over, you will be asked a survey on everything that happened here. Please give me transparent, honest feedback. The goal, again, is this to be a very tangible and tactical episodes that we do, is the whole goal, like for you to get something and actually like go do it. So we obviously want the best feedback possible. So in the chat, if you let us know, you're like, yep, this was helpful, impactful, or if you feel like something is missing, now is the time to answer questions.
Yes,
Now is the
please.
time to ask questions so that you do feel like it was worth your time. So if you do feel like we are missing something right now, this is your time to step up and ask questions. However, if you don't ask questions, we cannot help you. That's very important. All right. I don't want someone like, oh, I didn't get my question answered. It's like you didn't ask. So I want to make sure everybody is good. Now, I'm going to go back right into what you were just talking about and the question that was asked, because I think multiple people have been asking this. Traco, if you have it written out somewhere and you want to share your screen on it, or if you just want to share it for us, what is the
Yeah.
framework on how you do this? Right. So talk to us.
Yeah, so I really appreciate, so there's one psychological factor that I like to play with my video DMs. And I think what's really cool about this is I would have never tried this. Who was it that I just want to highlight one comment in here from Melody. Like, I know it feels weird and awkward to send video DMs. It's definitely a playing field, but you send one video DM and you're already ahead of the curve of all of your competition, because no one's doing this, because everyone feels the same thing. Everyone feels those same exact emotions. Um, so what I typically like to lay on is, when I was a kid growing up, and I'll talk about my video DM framework that I like to follow. When I was growing up, I remember my mom would always tell me, she's like, "Hey, if the kids at school are um, asking you to do something that you don't want to do, just blame it on me." And she would always let me use her as a scapegoat. And so it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. My mom won't let me do that, or this, that, or the other. And so it was a way for me to always have her as a scapegoat in case there were environments or situations that I didn't want to be in personally, right? As sports were really important to me. Um, I grew up in a really small town that wasn't close to anything. And so we all know what that means with what a lot of kids did. And I didn't want to be in those environments. And so I would just always use my mom. My mom was amazing. She is amazing. But I would use her, and she gave me permission to use her as a scapegoat to get out of any of those, like, I really want to go, but my mom will never let me do that, yada, yada, yada. But really, it was me making that decision. And so tying in that little story, I like to lead with that for my video DM framework. I think I'm sharing my whole screen. So I actually created this whole playbook because a couple of people have asked me for it, but this is kind of like my script template that I like to do. And if you noticed, this has been built over hundreds and hundreds of different videos that I've sent. But I always like to lead with, I hope this feels different, and then would love to hear your thoughts either way within the first 2 to 3 seconds. No one is going to click on your video
Right now,
anyway if you're.
Trink, are you showing a tip? We do not see it.
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you. I must
You're good.
just
We're
show it.
make sure. Yeah.
Okay. Stop
I don't
share.
want to keep cook,
Okay.
and then we don't have the recipe. So,
Yeah.
like, hold
Okay.
on.
Hold desktop. Here we go.
Yeah,
Here we
hold
go.
on.
Hold desktop. Let's switch it here. Okay.
Here we go. Okay, y'all.
So,
Now do y'all see it? Make sure everybody's good. Now you see it. This is what y'all asking for, the templates. Are we good in the chat? Let us know before we continue.
yeah.
Make sure y'all are good. Because I see it, but do y'all see it?
Yeah. So I take in a lot of everything that Morgan does and the observations that you make. My entire purpose here is to get a reply, because I believe if I can get a reply, I can get conversations, and I can either get introduced to the appropriate stakeholder in the organization that will run point with a meeting, or at very least, more replies I get, it's the law of averages, the more deals I'm going to close. And so I always lead with, hey, I hope this felt different. Would love your thoughts either way right off the bat. Okay. Because that will psychologically invite them to reply and let me know. And I always kind of chuckle right there and just say, I make them feel like they're the very first person I've ever sent a video DM to, and say, if this is weird, please let me know. I don't want to keep doing this if this doesn't make sense. And then that's where I'll get those replies, right? Right off the bat in the first 2 to 3 seconds. That's my observation. And then tying into the story with my mom, I always lead with and have found a lot of success by saying, hey, it's my job to let you know that corporate traditions exists, right? By doing that, I'm putting all of the blame and the reason why I'm reaching out on my company, and no one ever gets mad at you for doing your job, right? They always are like, "Oh, I understand why you're doing this." Like, no, it's like it's totally fine. It gives you permission to continue the conversation. And then you lead with the bucket questions. These are the observations that Morgan talks about. Um, I usually lead with like, hey, I work with leaders just like you who are tired of X or frustrated by dealing with Y, and they're looking for something that's simpler and easier and making a better impact. If that sounds a little bit like your world, I might be able to help. And then this one right here, if you surveyed the people in this, there's how many people are in this webinar right now? We have, whoops, we have like 58 right now. So if we surveyed all 60 people in here, 95% of you would consider yourself to being open-minded, an open-minded person. And so I just lean on that and say, hey, would you be open-minded to a quick chat to see if this even makes sense? And then always close, let me know your thoughts either way, and then close with that wave goodbye. And that's what I do. So I hope that makes sense, Morgan. Does that kind of answer your question with the outline and the framework and all of that type of stuff?
Miles, we appreciate you. Hope to see you next time. Also, your spelling of Miles is the same way that my brother's name is spelled. So shout out to you. Anyways, I was gonna say Lyle said great template. I want to get back to who originally asked on that template. Cameron, does that help answer? Actually, Cameron, we'll get to you on the technical side because I do have some things to say there. Was this template what y'all are looking for in the chat? I know a couple people mentioned it. I know we had an original question around it. Charles, you said you were looking for a framework on the tactical process. Hopefully that's helpful. Charles, we will definitely share this out in the follow-up with the recording as well, so you will have it. You also can screenshot it on the screen right now if you wanted to, but we also will do that too. So the thing I want to highlight here is two things. Um, all of you listening in right now, you're here, you follow my content, cool. You probably follow other people's content. I want to encourage you to not fall into the trap of looking at a template and saying the same exact thing that the person said. Because here, this is what Trico did not do, right? I have a way of doing my videos, but it's unique to me. Yet, if you were to break down the structure of how I do a video, the structure is pretty much the same based on what I've seen. And so that's what Traco did here. So I want to call that out how he took something that's like, this is the framework that we coach people on in our programs. And then he took that and made it his own, which is number two. I want to talk about open-minded. I like this psychological trigger. I don't know if anyone caught this one, but this is a great call to action. I I would say that like this is probably one of the better CTAs that I've seen because even as you broke it down psychologically, like I was like, oh, that is a good point. Like most people are open-minded. And also as well, if they're not open-minded, it's probably not someone I want to work with anyway. So it kind of
Exactly.
disqualifies them. So if they're like, I'm closed-minded, it's like, well, I'm closing you out. Like I don't want to talk to you anyways. So I do like the open-minded CTA because it psychologically plants a seed that this is the person I should be speaking to anyways, right? So I really like that. So I wanted to shout those two things out. Everyone else in the chat, if there's more that you want to talk about the templates, feel free to chime in. But that's what I see as a standout here. So we'll make sure to send this in the follow-up with the recording as well, so people can start doing this. Dom, I'm the same as you. I'm more about, I think people need to see how it's said so they can have the belief and confidence to do the thing. That is very important. But if you really break it down, it's really about the structure of how things are done and then incorporating your style and flavor to it because everyone has a different style and flavor, right? So that's the key.
Yeah, I could not agree more with that. Like Morgan, I would have never had the belief and confidence in myself to send out a video DM or even to give it a shot if it weren't for the framework that Morgan provided me. I actually have on my whiteboard. My camera is built into my computer, so I can't like spin my computer around and share it. But on my whiteboard, right above my camera, I actually have from the first video I ever watched with Morgan when he explained how to send a video DM. And y'all, if you're not following Morgan on YouTube, the thing he has with like a 45-minute training on sending video DMs on LinkedIn and how to use LinkedIn with Sales Nav plus videos. that thing should have 2 to 5 million views on it every single week. Like it
I
is
received that. Thank you, man. I went crazy on that one.
that one is incredible. I've probably watched it at least 8 to 10 times myself personally. I just play it while I'm getting ready in the morning just to remind myself of the importance. But I literally have right here on my thing, it's videos, 45-second max. I suck at that, by the way. But a 10-minute, your 10-30-10 process that you always train on with the, or sorry, 10-20-10 10-minute intro or trigger, the 20-minute 20-second value prop, and then a 10-second CTA. And that's what I try to look at while I'm sending video DMs, or as I'm thinking about it, is following that process as I'm doing this. Quick intro. And also, you don't need to tell people who you are or what your name is. They can look at that stuff just when you send the message. You're not sending a blank text message that just has a number. They have your name, they know who you are, they know who you're with. So just jump right into it. Don't waste time doing all that stuff. So, are you looking up that YouTube video? Okay, yeah.
Dude,
This
hey,
one,
look, lock. Hey,
dude,
look. It's a deep dive, but lock in, lock
dude,
in.
it's like it's like what, 45 minutes long, right,
It's
Morgan?
45 minutes long, but I
Dude,
promise you'll be well worth your time.
it is hands down, like I credit all of the success that I've had. I've just since implementing this in the last, I sell smaller cycles, some larger sales, but have been able to generate over $2.5 million in pipeline and revenue just from doing video DMs. So it works. It doesn't happen overnight, but you literally can plug this in and take a stab at it. And you have to send. I committed. I remember after I saw this, and I actually think, Morgan, I was on a webinar a year ago, right about now, when you went over the video DM framework. And I was like, you know
Yep.
what? I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to send out 25 video DMs. And I wrote my notebook. I always have a notebook in front of me as well. And I just made 20 boxes of five, right? Five rows of four. Um, and I said, I'm going to just send out, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to send out 20 video DMs, and I'm going to see if I get any results. And it was incredible. Some of my favorite ones is actually right here. I've taken screenshots of them. But I've had people actually reply with videos
Well, that's
back
funny.
to me, back to me.
Let's
And
go.
and then I would just send a video DM back, right? Because it's like you already broke into it, so might as well just keep going with it. And this one was awesome because she actually introduced me to two or three other members of her team that actually run that program, that own it, and so was able to make that happen as well. So it definitely happens. Like it's just a matter of plugging it in and just bending the law of averages to your will. You got to put enough output to receive the input. And one video DM is not going to get you a meeting. You got to do at least get up to that 20 to 30 before you're going to see those results.
Yeah, most people quit. Well, actually, let's take a moment here. We got 4 minutes left. I'm gonna give a charge. We're gonna talk about what we're doing next. I'll talk about like our program if anybody wants to work directly with me, but then also as well, we're gonna give y'all some perspective getting out of here. As we wrap up this conversation, for those of you, it could be early Friday morning like me, around 8 a.m. right now, or it could be later in your evening. How many of you all are excited to actually go do this information? Or if you're a leader today, you're about to go to your team and get them fired up. Like anybody else fired up right now, like ready to go? Like I don't know. We can't be the ones like I'm gonna go send some videos. I'm ready to go. But in the chat, let us know if y'all ready to go. Like are people like fired up right now? Like I can't be the only one like charged up. I mean, I normally am, but like I feel like right now, like let's go. Like you could probably book a meeting right after this. So obviously, if y'all are fired up, let us know in the chat. And if you are fired up as well, the thing is, like, as you all can see, like, I'm bringing people that are literally doing this on a day-to-day basis and giving you all the best information possible. Like, that's the goal. That's what we're doing here. And that's not going to stop. So, what I'm doing right here is in the chat. If you've enjoyed this conversation and you still want to be part of this, again, every Friday, the goal, we're doing this. We have another webinar we're doing next week. We're bringing on a VP of Sales, Brittany, and we're going to talk about how Outbound is starting to change and then how you can change with that, what she's doing with her team strategically, how to think about it. I'm going to bring some best practices as well. And also, this is very, very important. When this webinar ends, you will have a survey. Please, 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 please fill out the survey. Give us honest feedback. We want to be better. We want to give you the best information. Also, share topics that you feel like we aren't talking about that you care about, and I will go find that person, and we will go find those people, and we will deliver it to you. And then ultimately, I'm gonna flip it back. Traco, where can people find you if they have more questions or want to see the work that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the easiest and quickest way for me is LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, so if I can do it, had some things. So finding me on LinkedIn is probably going to be the easiest and quickest way to make it happen. So would love to connect and share any thoughts, or if you're looking for motivating or retaining your sales reps to go out and build pipeline, and you need to send out gifts. That's what we do here at Corporate Traditions is gift cards at no contracts, no fees. It's all dollar for dollar. So if that resonates, would love to do it. I want to highlight just one thing. I can't remember who said it in the chat. But max, there it is. Like not 20 per 30 per day, but I try to space it out per week. So just carving out 15 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You need about that much time to do research on the prospects you want to go after anyway, to make sure that you're relevant to the right people. And so I would send out and just set a goal to send at least that many before the end of the week. And the beach videos, that would be awesome. If I lived near a beach,
100%
that's what I
reply
would
rate.
do.
That's a
Yeah.
100% reply rate. If I live next to a beach, I'd be ripping it. I will say,
Yeah, I know.
I will say, when I go outside and I'm like in AZ, or even if I'm like doing a walk, I get way higher responses when I'm just like walking around.
Yeah.
So just take that for what it is. If you live in a nice space, take advantage of that. As we wrap, I mentioned at the beginning, but it's really important. If you're an SDR, if you're an AE, or you're a sales leader and you would like to work directly with me, I have a program called Sales Team 6. The whole entire purpose of that is it's a 45-day virtual program. We help with cold calling, LinkedIn DMs that you just saw Traco go through. We work with your team exclusively to do that. So you can always hit me up on LinkedIn and be like, hey, Morgan, I want to know more. Happy to chat on that. Nonetheless, my hope is that you all took this information that we talked about today and what I share through in programs with other B2B teams. This is what we do. But also, you saw, maybe you got inspired today by Traco with the template, with the videos that were shared, that you come out of this conversation and you go do videos yourself and get some of your team members to do videos. So, like I said, we're out of here. Traco, any final thoughts, any final things you want to say before we wrap up?
Hey, prospecting is fun, especially when you bend the law of averages to your will. So just get excited, have fun, and give it a shot. And would love to hear your feedback, or if you need tips or advice, Morgan's the man. Also here to help with any advice that I have on my end. So, or any experiences that I've been able to experience. So you're the man, Morgan. Super grateful to be here, man.
Absolutely, y'all. Y'all have a blessed one. That's the site that I got right there. Traco's LinkedIn's right there. Connect with him directly. Hope y'all have a blessed Friday, blessed weekend, and we'll see you all next Friday on the next one.